welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and I'm super excited. We have another foundation review. You guys, foundations have been dropping just all over the plickety place, and I'm so excited because, girl, our shimmering goddess of the world, Little Miss Becca Cosmetics, has put out a foundation. It is called the Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. You know how we feel about 24-hour foundations on this channel. I'm over here like, bitch, is it a 6-hour foundation? Because most of the time, they barely ain't a 6-hour foundation on my face. But I digress, you guys. Let's read a little bit, shall we? I got this from the Ulta website. It's $44. You get 1 fluid ounce. It appears from the picture I'm looking at to have a pump. It also appears to be done in 24 different colors with a really good shade range. The deepest shade is chestnut, and that's actually, I mean, that's not horrible. These are the shades right here. I'm okay. Not bad, Becca. 24 shade range. That's a respectable opening. I'm not hating it so far. What does it say here? It says that Becca's Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation is a full coverage 24-hour wear water resistant foundation enriched with intense pigments and water to achieve natural weightless coverage. Coverage without the cake. One pump, oh, that's a big claim already. One pump effortlessly covers imperfections, redness, hyperpigmentation, and uneven texture, giving you ultimate confidence. Girl, I have all of those in like 1 square cubic inch. So next, each water-resistant shade is formulated with a balance of intense pigments for full coverage and 22% water for natural finish that lasts all day. Okay, this best-selling liquid foundation is great for all skin tones and types. The best selling. Did this already happen? And maybe this is like from the Becca website. Maybe it's only new to Ulta. I've never heard of it. What is in my eye? Satan, be gone. Get out of my eye. Okay, you guys, and per usual for my foundation reviews that I've been doing lately, you guys have been loving this. I've been priming my face differently on both sides so we can take a look at how different foundations react with different primers. I have been going in a lot now on the right-hand side with the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For. I was like, what is this one called? Girl, if you don't know what this one's called yet, you have a problem. But I've been going with this one on the left-hand side of my face. It's more of a silicone, more like dimethicone pore filling kind of primer. And then on the left-hand side of the face, I've been going in with the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. This is again more like a coconut watery kind of base. People say that they react differently. I've had, some people have been like, oh, it's the primer you're using. Oh, it's the whatever. So now I feel like we'll just split the difference. We're gonna we don't even know our words on this channel, but we're just going to put stuff on and we're going to see how it goes. So now, after I applied both of those, I did go over, give myself a little spurts with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I just really love this. I love the way that it kind of pushes the primers into the skin, and it feels really good on my face because my face is kind of like, girl, let's get this party started. And, we're anxious to get ancient. You know what I mean. So let's go ahead and let's kind of check out what we got here. So it looks like this is the packaging. It's really nice. It has like a really elegant kind of Becca sophistication about it. And let's open her up and see what we got. Oh, well, I picked this up in the shade Linen. Might be a little bit light for me. I'm not gonna lie about it. But we'll see. But that's real light. So you know what, Becca? 2 thumbs way up for actually nailing light coverage, because like most companies, when they launch, their light shade is like the color of this beauty blender, and they're like, oh my god, it's porcelain, and you're like, bitch, no, it's burnt Cheeto, like, stop. Anyways, so let's go ahead, let's take a couple pumps of this on the back of the hand here. Come on, who's your good foundation? Oh, there we go. All right. So yeah, that's definitely light. The sad part, like the sad reality of the situation, is that that's probably my actual skin tone. I just don't want it to be. So we're going to go in with a nice little beauty sponge here. And let's take a little globby gloop of it. And let's bounce and see what we get. I want to see what this ultimate coverage is all about. Oh. Oh, all right. I see what's happening here. Whoa. Wow. All right, you guys. That is not bad for like one pass. Okay. I see what you're putting down there, Miss Becca. What do you got? Let's keep going here. And I am running off of about 1 pump so far, so I'm curious to see exactly what I can get off of 1 pump. I like that little red guy on my friggin' mouth right there. Looks like your girl got the hurt. I promise I don't. All right, so that is about one pump. So it did give me quite a bit of coverage. Wow, that like perfectly matches my neck. How sad is that? But it's actually not bad coverage with just one pump. Right now, it's a little bit more like textured looking than I would like. It's a little bit sticky. The pores look pretty good through here. They're a little emphasized through here, but I think that maybe I just don't have enough foundation right there. I am going to go in, I'm going to grab myself another little pump here on the back of my hand. And, oh, I guess that was about a pump and a half, sorry. And we are going to go in with the Y6 from Morphe brush, and I want to take, actually I don't want to use this brush, I want to go in instead with the Heavenly Skin brush from IT Cosmetics, and I just want to take some of this on the other half of the face. I just want to see if we can build up a little bit more coverage, maybe see if that's where it really shines. You know the drill. I don't know, I just kind of like to see if I like it or not. Some people are like die hard, only apply foundation with a brush. Other people are die hard blender. I'm usually blender. If I have to build up coverage, I'm all about using a brush, and then I just kind of smooth out with the blender over top. I do that a lot. When it comes to concealer, I'm like 100% beauty blender. I don't even mess around. I'm like, girl, who are you trying to play? But the one thing I like about using a brush when I'm applying my foundation is that this is a lot easier to kind of swirl and get the product to fill in your pores, so that way they appear a lot less. So a lot of times if I'm having an issue with that, I will reach for a brush. Yeah, there's a lot more texture on that side than I would like, and I feel like it's kind of like clinging. So this side picks up a lot of the product, but I would rather have it that way and have it smooth, you know, smooth over my face and my pores a little bit nicer. So I'm going to go back in with this little guy right here. And we're just going to keep on bouncing it in, see what we can get. But that coverage is pretty nice. By the way, do you just love all these random freaking like bumpy breakouts on my forehead? I was like, no thank you. Who are you, devil? Be gone. But it didn't listen. I was like, oh, okay, cool, great. I haven't done anything different, so I'm thinking it's just like a reaction to life in general or something, or my hormones maybe. I don't know. But I have had pretty clear skin as of like the last probably month. And for all of the sudden, it's just like, oh, just kidding. You wanted to do a foundation review? Beach. Well, guess what? Now you're going to look all kind of crusty and have breakouts. So currently, I'm not like loving the way it looks up close, but that's not super uncommon. At this stage, a lot of times foundation can look really like chunky and patchy. It feels a little heavy, but more than that, it feels like a little bit sticky, which can be good and bad depending on how it ends up wearing. So again, I'm not going to hold it accountable. At this stage, I normally don't. Like, it has to be pretty bad. So let's go ahead and let's grab some Shape Tape here, and we're gonna add some Shape Tape to our face and see what we like, what we don't like, what's going on. Actually, now that I say that, I don't know if Shape Tape is gonna be light enough, because this foundation, oh wow. Yeah, it's a little bit too dark. Well, that blended in really nice. I'm kind of loving it. Let's go ahead. We're going to grab the Huge, which is our Fit Me powder. Wait, there should be an open one. Hold on. Haha, found it. Okay, this is the Fit Me loose powder in the shade 05 Fair. This is my favorite powder for setting my concealered areas, and I also use the shade Fair in the Shape Tape as well. It is their lightest shade, but it works pretty good for me most of the time. So now we're going to go in, we're just going to pat out those creases, and we're going to set that under eye, hunty, because otherwise we're going to have creases. And for those of you that are new to my channel, I do have oily skin. It's not just oily through the T-zone. I do get oily, I mean, all over. I can turn into an oily mambo beast at any given moment. So for me, it is pretty important to go in with all of the usual powder steps that I have. It does keep everything fair when I do a foundation review. So I just like to really take this powder, and again, it goes everywhere that I put concealer, because I have noticed that it does such a good job at smoothing foundation and smoothing my overall texture. I actually recently did a full video of texture and how I reduced my texture, because as your girl got a lot of texture, a lot of acne, a lot of bumps, a lot of all that good stuff. So I will link that right up here, and it's a whole video on, again, just how I reduce texture, what products I like, prefer, all that good stuff. And this powder is actually one of those products. So go check that video out if you struggle with all the bumpies on your face like I do, because girl. Okay, now we put a lid on that before we spill it. Where's my air spoon? Girl, I ain't playing with you. Where's the air spoon? Got it, you guys. This is the Coty Airspun. I go in with the extra coverage, and I really like this a lot. It does such a good job at matting. Oh my God, you guys, there was one open on my vanity. But it does such a good job at matting down the face and just really making sure that everything stays, you know, as matte as possible without getting super oily and cakey. So I really like this. Plus, it does provide an extra little bit of layer for coverage, which is also very helpful. So I go ahead and I just kind of pat that all over the face. And with this, like I said in that video, it's really important to pat it and push it into the skin and not swipe it so much, because when you swipe, you kind of lose coverage. Whereas if you work on pressing this into the skin, you're going to do yourself a huge favor. Okay, so all the powder is on. Okay, it's not bad. It's different. It's definitely, it's looking a little old. It's looking a little emphasized. But again, I don't judge it too much at this current point because my face requires, oh my God, in heaven am I white. Look at what's going on. Oh, child. Okay, I'm going to run off. I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup. And I think once I set this and I have all the other products in place, it'll be a lot easier to kind of judge it. What do we think? What do we know? That kind of situation. So it's always better if I do it at that point. And if you're new to my channel, that's kind of how we do things here. Because I don't feel like it's fair to judge a product like at every tiny little minute step, because like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be like judging me. Like, oh, right when she wakes up, she stubs her toe. She has no coffee. She hates the world. Like, is it really fair to judge me as a person, like, right when I'm out of bed, or right when I stub my toe, or before my morning coffee, or like, what if I have to pee? Like, is it really fair to judge me when really you could look at the story overall and how I am throughout the day, preferably not like a Monday, and you could like see how amazing and fabulous I am as an overall. So, you know, that's kind of how I like to view my foundation. I like to give my foundation like the courtesy I would want post coffee. So we're going to go ahead, do the rest of our face, and we'll be right back with some more thoughts. All right, you guys, I have the rest of my makeup on, and you know, okay, so this foundation is like turning into be a little bit of a trickster, because I initially was kind of like about it, and then a little while ago I looked at my face and I was like, damn, everything looks so good. And now I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on? Like, it's kind of having like this weird texture moment that I'm not living for, but I'm thinking maybe it just needs a little bit longer to really settle into the skin. I think on camera right now it looks really beautiful. It has a really interesting way of catching and bouncing the light back that, holy bejesus. My good Lord, that woman scared the absolute bejesus out of me. But as I was saying about this foundation, you guys, God, she always has like the best timing. Gotta love moms. But anyways, I think that the one thing that's really getting to me about this foundation is that overall odd like texture on my face. I'm gonna go do the rest of my day and I'll check in with you guys. We will obviously do a wear test because that's how we roll on my channel. And we will see if I like it, if I don't, if I suggest it, whatever. Oh, and as for the two different sides, as of right now, I would say that the Peter Thomas Roth side does look a little smoother than this side, because like even up through my more textured areas, it looks smoother over here than it does over here. So as of right now, this side is winning, but we gonna stop back on in a little while and we gonna see what we be thinking. What are you, a chicken? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I don't even know. All right, guys, it has been like 7, 8-ish hours. Actually, I went to look at a watch that I don't have on my wrist. But it has been, I'd say, about over 8 hours, a little over 8 hours now, since I put this foundation on. And I thought we would, you know, kind of do our end of the day check-in. This is a tough one for me. I'm not in love with it. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to bring you guys in. I want to give you the close-up, and then I want to talk about just like things that I noticed here and there throughout the day, and I kind of want to give you the pros and cons. So let's actually start with the up close and then move forward. So don't mind this busted ass janky lip situation. But the one thing that I really want to call some attention to right around here is the mouth texture that I have going on. There's limited breakage on the chin, but there is like some serious texture going on. We do have some lines happening on both sides, some smile lines. We have a little bit of cakeage, but nothing too bad like in the actual crevices on either side. We have limited oil, so as far as oil goes, I'd say it was pretty good. We do have a lot of emphasized like pore and texture situation in this area and this area. And then up on the forehead here, he got kind of hungry. He had like a side salad, not a full dinner, but just a little bit. But overall, I do feel like there was a lot of texture emphasized on my forehead. All right, so now that we've watched the close-up portion here, I think that that'll kind of help better clarify what I'm talking about for a couple of things. Let's start, because I did obviously go in with 2 primers, so let's start there. I feel like this side does look a little smoother than this side, so this would be the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For versus the Hangover RX side. You guys can tell me what you think in the comments, unless you thought the opposite, in which case obviously tell me. I know that sometimes it can be deceiving under the beauty lights and everything, but the one thing that and I think part of this, you know, it could be, you know, you could say, oh well, it's because it's so light, you should have had a darker shade, da 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 da. But the one thing I really didn't care for about this foundation, I would say, is how emphasized all of my pores looked. Like, whether it was through here, on my nose, I just had a really difficult time, especially on my forehead. Sweet Lordy McJesus, was there texture. Oh my God, there was texture. And I think that's like the biggest thing. Like, even areas where I don't normally struggle with a ton of texture, I still had texture. Like on my chin, but like at the bottom part, I noticed when I was walking by a mirror, I'm like, why is it so bumpy? And that's just something that really did frustrate me a lot. So I think if I were to go in and use this foundation again, which I definitely will, I would be inclined to try it with this foundation, the Dior Forever Undercover. Is that what it's called? Yeah. And mainly because, and if you're curious, this is what I'm talking about. This is the lightest shade this comes in, which is an absolute sham. This is the shade 010, which I think is like their version of porcelain, which is a crock of shit, but whatever. I mix this in with foundations when I notice that they do have an issue blending into the pores. And I do that because this foundation, again, I will have linked that video in the cards that I did on texture. This foundation or the regular Dior Forever Skin, this one, either of those work so beautiful at minimizing pores. So I think that this would double duty both on pores and on darkening the foundation just a little bit. And if I'm honest, I would probably add a little bit of the Dewdrops by Marc Jacobs, which are these ones right here. These are last year's launch. These are in the shade Do You number 50. I don't know what the hell, there's like a big glob on the front, but I love drops like this. It doesn't have to be Dewdrops. It can be any kind of like an illumination product, which brings me to my next issue. This in the description, it said that it had a natural finish and that it worked on hydrating and all that kind of stuff. And I have to be honest, based on the level of texture that I see and the level of it almost mattified look that it takes to the skin, I don't think that I see the hydrated effect. And but I do think that it is very matte and very oil controlling. Even on this side, it looked very nice and like no oil at all. My nose has literally almost no oil on it, and I'm an oily beast. So if you are oily, I definitely recommend this foundation. I just think that it's going to take a little bit of fine tuning and critiquing to really get it to a place where you're going to be able to like the way that it maybe has a finish over your skin. But I don't know, you guys. I'm a little bit on the fence. I think that it did great for oil control, so I think it depends on what your issues are. If you have naturally smooth skin and you don't have a ton of texture, and then I think you might really like this. Some people have like rosacea, so they're really red, but they don't have texture on your face. And if that's the case, you would really like this because it's going to deliver, you know, all of that coverage, but not so much the texture help that you don't need. So I think it really does just depend on what you're looking for. For me personally, again, I will try this. I will mix it in and let you guys know, because I think by adding a little bit of deepness in color as well as a little bit of that Dior for the pore filling, I won't need as much of the product, which means I might like it a little bit more. So I'm definitely curious. You guys know I'm always open to mixing and matching and trying to find the best ways to get the best end result that I'm looking for. So overall, I'm definitely going to try it again, but I really hope that this was helpful to you guys. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below if you like this video, if you have anything to say, if you like the way that it wore, anything like that. And you guys can always leave in the comments if there's something that you're looking for, something you want me to check out, if there's something that you're excited about. And if you ever see a comment down there and you're like, yes, I agree with that person, or like, yes, I want you to check out the same thing that they said, go ahead and like their comment. And then I go through and I'm like, damn, that video's got all kind of likes and comments going on. All of that to be said, you guys, if you'd like to keep up with me outside of the YouTube realm, you can do so in the comments linked down below, or in the description bar rather. It has my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, all that stuff. Instagram is definitely definitely like, I feel like I kind of switch back and forth between Snapchat and Instagram because they're like both a little bit odd to me still, but there is always a ton of previews and selfies and just like real world like fun looks going on Instagram. If you're curious, you guys can check them out there. And that's it, you guys. As always, I hope that you have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Look at my face, look at my pores, but overall I think it wore really, really pretty, really, really pretty. Back where you been, back what you doing. I think that you kinda nice, but you need a little Dior to help you out.